What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. So as you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about something that I've never really brought up on the channel before. So with that being said, I do ask for a little bit of grace because again, this is a new thing for me to bring up. So I apologize if the video is a little bit all over the place, or maybe you're not happy with how I express myself and my opinions. You know, I'm trying to do my best. I want to bring this to light, but again, this is definitely out of my comfort zone. So before we get into, the topic, I want to tell you guys how the video is going to be structured. I'm going to do my best to just share the information, the facts of what happened without stating my opinion too much, because I want to save my opinion and how I feel for the end of the video, just so it doesn't affect your thoughts too much. This past Wednesday, the owner of Unbroken Designs, now if you're not familiar with what Unbroken Designs is, they're actually a pretty large company in the CrossFit space. They make a lot of different fitness equipment. They make belts, they make weight vests, just a lot of stuff, knee sleeves, things that are used a lot in CrossFit gyms. So the owner of that company, on her story, put up, and I'll put it up on the screen, she put up a story where she has her children eating tacos, and instead of saying Taco Tuesday, it was on a Wednesday, and as you can see, this is what she put. Now, I'm not going to be saying the term that she used. I'm just not comfortable. It'll be up on the screen, but I do want to read a description. Now, this is from Urban Dictionary, but it really does explain why the term is a derogatory term towards, Mexican Americans, Latin Americans, just in general. Is a derogatory term used to describe Mexicans who have immigrated illegally to the United States by swimming or wading across the Rio Grande, the river that separates the U.S. and Mexico border. U.S. Border Patrol began using the word in 1944 to refer to illegal Mexican immigrants who were easily identifiable by their wet clothing. Obviously a very insensitive word. And when she was confronted with the fact that that's not really cool to say, again, I'll have a screenshot here, she admits that she knows what the term means. And so she knew what the term meant. She says it right there, but she still decided to put that on her story with her children in the same photo. Now, moving forward, obviously there was quite a bit of backlash, and she herself decided obviously to take the story down, and she issues what she calls an apology. So I'll play a little bit from that video right here.
Wanted to jump on here real quick. So yesterday I posted a photo of my kids eating tacos that included a derogatory comment. While I knew that the comment had negative connotations, I didn't realize how offensive it was, which I learned very quickly. I wrote it down because I didn't know what to say. I'm really sorry.
So again, in her apology video, she states that she knew what the word meant. She knew that it had negative connotations, but she still decided to use that in her story. And everything that I just stated right there has very much so has proof, right? She has acknowledged that she said the things. She has said that, yes, that was me, obviously. Now, this is a screenshot that has been going around. I don't know if this is true. I haven't seen anyone on her side kind of say, hey, yeah, that I said that, but it is floating out there. Again, I don't know if this is true, but it is out there. Now, this next part of the story, I want to make very clear, this is all alleged. I don't know exactly how true all of this stuff is, but I think it's important to share this information because I do think it gives this whole story a little bit of backstory. So apparently, Unbroken Designs was actually created by at least two people, and one of the other people that was one of the creators of the company, who is no longer affiliated with them anymore, reached out to me, and she let me know that basically, so this lady that had made the posts, the derogatory posts, had somehow taken the business away from one of the other creators. She says that it was some sort of embezzlement. Again, all of this stuff is alleged. But the reason I'm telling this story is because through that, and obviously she had experience with the woman that made the remarks, she says herself that in the past, she says the actions that she had are very similar to how she would act when she was a business partner with her. Now, when it goes into the whole legal thing, I don't know too much about that. I don't really understand it fully, but I think that does say a little bit about the character of the woman that made the statements. So this is the post right here from one of the former owners of Unbroken Designs, and it says this: "Everyone keeps tagging me, so I'll post this up here again from 2017. You can scroll way down my page to see the original post. This is still not resolved. I've never been bought out, and though I am fully legally represented, I am 4 years in and over $20,000 into trying to get justice. This person continually shows their true colors and continues to reap the benefits of my hard work. I got nothing but debt out of 4 years of sacrifice, and I still have not financially recovered 4 years later. And let's be honest, I'm still very emotionally traumatized by this. It's shaken my trust in people you call friends and also in our legal system. I pay legal fees every single month to this day. This is who you support when you support that company," speaking of Unbroken Designs. "It's no accident she's been caught doing other unsavory, selfish, not thought through things. People who think they can get away with things that benefit themselves at others' expense are dangerous to our community. If you know about this and do not act in unfollowing, not ordering, not supporting, and continuing to spread the word, it truly is negatively affecting my life on a daily basis still. I completely approve anyone who wants to share this to their stories and continue to spread word to connect the dots on current questionable behavior by the person who locked me out of my company." Now, obviously, I will link Kat's Instagram so you guys can check out and do all the research. There is a lot to go through there. So, and again, I'm not super versed in all of that stuff. Okay, so that's mainly pretty much the backstory of everything that's going on. Now, I want to, share my thoughts and what I think of the whole situation, and also kind of talk about why I feel it's important for me to talk about this. Now, first things first, I want to make it very clear. I'm pretty sure it's very obvious. I am a white male. I have never experienced racism or anything like that to this degree. And so I don't want to sit here and say I totally understand and I get it and I've been through it, because I haven't. But I do feel like I have something to say about this. Now, I think the reason that when I saw what she said, why that bothered me so much is because, I've born and raised in San Diego, California. So Southern California, I live right next to Mexico. And I will be honest and say that I have seen more racism and terrible things said to my friends that were Mexican more than any other race. So I've heard this word used derogatory for my entire life. I will say that I can understand someone maybe not realizing how bad the word was, or even maybe not realizing it was racist or wrong to say, because I will say that I know that it's not as known of a word as maybe like the N-word or something like that. It's definitely a lesser known. Like, even when I posted on my story, a lot of people were messaging me being like, I've never heard that word before. I don't know what this means. But for me, growing up in Southern California, this was a word I've known my entire life. So again, I can understand maybe someone not realizing what they were saying, but she said it herself that she knew exactly what the word meant. Someone messaged her privately and said, "Hey, do you know what that word means?" And she said herself, "Yes, I am fully aware of what this word means." And then, taking it a step further, in her apology, she again states, "I knew what the word meant." And I struggle with when she says, "I knew that it had negative connotations, but I said it anyway because I didn't realize how negative it was." I struggle with empathizing with that, because it truly doesn't really make sense to me at all. And then, taking it a step further, I think the thing that really just kind of makes me sick to my stomach and really bothers me is that that story was filmed with her kids in it, and she put that word with her kids in the story. So I think, to me personally, that shows she is obviously very comfortable saying that word, and it is part of her vocabulary. It's something that she obviously says often enough that she didn't think twice to put that word in a video with her kids and then share it to the thousands and thousands of people that follow her online. And on the other side of the coin, I have actually been messaged a few times from people that are of Mexican descent or just Latin descent that said, hey, you know, I am Mexican or I'm Latin, and that word doesn't really bother me that much. And I think that's great. Like, if you are someone that isn't bothered by the word, I think that that's a great way to be able to live. But the fact of the matter is that's not everybody. And, you know, I'm not trying to sit here and virtue signal and say like you should be bothered by it. I think that if you can not let a word bother you, that's great. But the fact is that this word has been used to really demean a certain person, a certain people. And for a white person to feel comfortable enough to say it, I don't think that that's right. Another thing I wanted to talk about is I know that cancel culture is a very popular thing that's going on just in social media right now. And I am someone that I think it has gone way too far. I think cancel culture has absolutely gone too far. But I think there is a difference between, you know, like the cancel culture stuff that you see, like someone digging through someone's Twitter, going 10, 12 years back, seeing something that they said, and then trying to cancel them for that, versus someone making a statement 3 days ago, right? And putting that online and then showing no real remorse until they start seeing things happening with their company. They start seeing, you know, the negative effects of the words that they said. I think there's a giant difference. You know, if you're going back to someone 12 years ago, what they were saying, and especially if that person has shown that they obviously don't think that way anymore since that 12 years ago when they said that, I don't think it makes sense to try and cancel that person. But with this situation, I'm not saying we need to cancel this person, but what I am saying is that I think if you decide that you no longer want to support Unbroken Designs and you don't want to spend your money there, that is 100%, I think, okay, and that's what should happen. Because I think that if you're going to use these racist terms and these terrible terms, you should, you know, have to deal with the consequences. And like, do I think everyone is redeemable? Absolutely. But do I think that she's going to be able to be redeemable after a few days from saying it? No, I think it's something that's going to take time. And it's shown, you know, especially if we're talking about her old business partner that said she's done things like this in the past. It's a pattern of behavior. And I think if she like, I think the good that can come out of this situation is her learning from her mistakes and hopefully not passing that down to her kids. So this, you know, this racism or this bigotry stops with her. Now, I think the reason that I actually am so bothered by this and that I care about it so much is because it really does hit close to home. You know, this is a big brand in the CrossFit space. I love doing CrossFit. I'm a huge advocate for it. And to see someone say something so terrible it's just absolutely disgusting. And I don't want people to see that and then be like, yeah, everyone that does CrossFit is bigoted and that whole company is bigoted towards any sort of race. Like, that is not something that I want to see. Now, again, steps forward, I think that the first thing that we need to make sure we don't do is, you know, try and fight fire with fire. I think that the best thing that, you know, if you are concerned about this or if this does bother you, don't shop with Unbroken Designs. You know, cut any ties you might have with them if you're someone that was ever affiliated with them or anything like that. And, you know, support brands that you believe in and you believe in the owners. What I don't want to see happen, I mean, everyone's going to do what they want. I can't control anybody. But what I don't think should happen is going to her page or going to her business and trying to basically burn it down. Now, I'm really trying to do my best not to get too heated because I just don't think that that's helpful in this situation. But I personally am disgusted by these acts. I'm disgusted by the words. I'm disgusted with the way she's handled herself since. I think that it really bothers me because, I mean, I like to think that there's no one like this anymore, and obviously I'm wrong, and obviously that shows that I have some sort of privilege, and I get that, but it is disgusting when you see it just put out there like that, and I really do think that, you know, the lessons that she will learn from this hopefully are stuff that she takes to heart and she changes who she is for the better, because, you know, maybe this will end her business, but it doesn't have to end her life. The last thing that I wanted to say is that Kat, the other former owner of Unbroken Design, she actually owns a new company. I was speaking to her and said, is there anything that I can do or that I can have people that are watching the video do that would help support you in any way? And she is the owner of another company. So she was like, you know, if people want to shop there, that would be awesome. So the name of the company is Volsport. I will again put a link down in the description. And the other thing that she said, she asked for me to do, was that if there is anyone that is in the Pennsylvania area that deals with this type of like small business law that could help her with her case, that would be awesome. So if there's anyone that's watching this that's from Pennsylvania that knows a lawyer or is a lawyer or anything like that, that could be really cool. I mean, you'd be helping someone that I think has been treated very poorly. So again, I will link everything down in the description. If you need to find her, it'll be down there. But there you guys go. I mean, there's so much more that I can say, but at the same time, I don't want to make this video forever long. Just know that I think that it's wrong. I don't support that. And hopefully more people will take a stand and let people know that this isn't right. And this won't be forgotten.